It had been a costume-finding day. Katie learned that a big floppy hat was fun until you bumped into something. Orbie found out that a little bit of makeup can change your whole face, and they both discovered that half the fun of putting on a play was finding the costumes. Yi Ping, Kira, Bryn, Phoebe, and Arthur were all over at Katie's house to put on a play. Katie and Orbie were busy making sure they had the right costumes for the characters. Bryn made up the story. Kira added to it. Katie made up the name for it, which was the Happy Dragon. Orbie made up the tickets, and Phoebe and Arthur put some chairs in the living room for the parents. Yi Ping went home to get the dragon's head. Everybody was busy and very excited. Mom said she'd cater, which meant provide the food, and she made dragon cupcakes. All the friends helped decorate them. While Orbie was in the washroom wiping the icing off the end of his nose, the rest of the friends decided for the last time who would be who in the play. Arthur would be the funny king. Kira would be the cat. Bryn would be the queen. Phoebe would be the lady-in-waiting. Yi Ping would be the wizard. Katie would be the knight, and Orbie would be the dragon. When Orbie was finished, he came back into the kitchen to discover that he was the dragon. Well, he danced a very dragon-like dance and growled a very dragon-like growl, and all the friends clapped. Orbie would be the perfect dragon. Mom suggested that they have a rehearsal, which meant they practice the play to see what everybody does and when they come on stage. This was an excellent idea. The 7 friends raced upstairs and put on their costumes. The crown didn't fit Arthur's head, so Mom had to make it a bit bigger. Bryn kept tripping over her skirt, so Mom pinned it up. And Kira wanted to have a cat face, so Mom painted her up with face paints. Orbie looked great in his dragon costume. They rehearsed their play, and everybody did their parts beautifully. But Orbie found out that his part was sort of small. The whole play was about making the dragon happy, and all Orbie had to do was walk across the stage as if he was sad. Then at the very end, he had to do the happy dragon dance. The dragon didn't talk, so Orbie had nothing to say. Orbie watched his friends working on their parts. He really wanted to be the king. The king had lots to say. Orbie thought maybe the wizard could make the dragon talk, but that would ruin the story. After a while, Orbie took off the dragon head and he lay it on the floor. He went out the back door and sat under a tree. Maybe being in the play wasn't all that much fun. He really wanted to have a honking and tooting part where Mom and Dad could see how good he was at remembering what to say. Orbie was disappointed. Inside, the friends decided they would try to make a curtain with an old ripped sheet. Mom said they could take it out in the backyard and paint it because she couldn't use it anymore. Well, the 6 friends charged out the back door carrying the sheets and paints and brushes and water. They called to Orbie to come and help them, and Orbie did come over. He was about to choose the red paintbrush when Arthur talked about how he was going to use a big, deep voice to be the king. Katie told him she was going to look big and strong because all knights were. Orbie felt a little sad that his part wasn't very big. He told them that he'd be right back, but actually he went up to his room and shut the closet door. Now, there were so many people that nobody really thought about Orbie not being there for the painting. And when Mom gave them all a snack, she didn't notice that Orbie was missing. When Dad came home, the friends told him that there was going to be a wonderful play, and Dad was delighted. He asked where Orbie was, and that's when everybody realized that Orbie hadn't been with them for a little while. Mom remembered seeing him go upstairs. They found Orbie looking at a book. They told him that it was time to get ready for the play. Orbie looked at Katie and burbled that he didn't want to be in the play. 6 hearts fell to the floor. They had worked all day on the play, and now he didn't want to do it. Katie told Orbie that he had to do it because they needed a dragon. Orbie pointed out that it was just a tiny little part of the story. It wasn't important. Katie turned to her friends. She didn't know what to say. Dad came up to see how things were going. He was surprised to hear that Orbie wanted to drop out of the play. Dad told Orbie that the thing about a play is that everybody counts. It's a team. Orbie told Dad he wanted to be king. Why couldn't there be 2 kings? Dad asked Orbie to tell him the story of the play. And at the end, Dad told Orbie he was wrong about his part. Without him, there was no story or play at all. His part was very important. Then Dad picked up the dragon head. He told Orbie that it was his job to be the very best dragon. Even though he had no lines to speak, he could be funny and interesting when he walked, when he sat. Suddenly, Orbie understood what Dad meant. He took the dragon's head from him and turned to his friends. "I didn't understand," he tooted, "but now I do." He put the head on and did a very funny walk that made everybody laugh. And that night, when all the parents were there, the friends put on their play. I have to tell you that each and every one of them did a wonderful job. Orbie made sure he was a dragon with personality, and everybody loved him. At the end, when it was Orbie's turn to take a bow, all the parents cheered. Orbie had made his part so much fun. From that day on, Orbie never worried about the part he had. He worked hard at making whatever it was come to life and be wonderful. He realized that he was only as important as he made himself. And do you know the same thing goes for you? Don't waste your time wondering if what you're doing is important. Think about how well you're going to do it, and do it the best way you can. Because I happen to know that you are already very important.